increasing this diameter by, what did we say, less than 8 thousandths, 7 or 8 thousandths. When we install a new valve guide, there's the potential that we would lose some of that concentricity to the original counterbore, and then when we go to cut our counterbore to increase the diameter for our oversized seats, we may actually not clean up all the way. I set up my cutter off camera because it's kind of a thing where you really got to measure twice or 3 times or 4 times and only cut once. So that's what I did. I set it up off camera so I didn't have to worry about trying to film while I was doing that. And when I go ahead and measure this bore here, we came up right in that 1,380 range. So I know we're in a good spot based on the way that it measures. And just as a double check there, I'll take a standard size valve seat, and you can see it drops right into the counterbore. So obviously we're bigger than 1,375, and I can even feel just a little bit of wiggle there. And if I take our 5 thousandths oversized valve seat, I think it would just barely go in if we got it aligned perfectly and pressed on it a little bit. But that tells me that seat counterbore is right about 1,380 and should be in the right spot for our 1,385 seat. So I was going to try to run my little mister here on this to try and keep this cutter cool, but I haven't used it in a while and I had kind of cannibalized it, so we're going to just have to see how well it does. And I'm just going down until we just touch the base of the original counterbore. So we're going to drive our seats in now. Alright, so we're going to get our valve seats driven in now. In the exhaust position, we have the Star Series seats from SBI, so that's designated by the N suffix. They're meant to have a lot better characteristics at high temperature and the more intense conditions that the exhaust side sees, especially on like a diesel head. Essentially, we put this expandable pilot in with that, and then we can put our valve seat, and we have our driver. That seemed to go in pretty good. So on the intake side, again, we have what SBI considers their OEM replacement seat for this head, again in 10 oversize. However, it does not have to be the Star Series material because the temperatures seen on the intake side are quite a bit different from the temperatures seen on the exhaust side. So our next step in the process here is actually drilling for our new valve guides. So the new valve guides, there's a different length for intake and exhaust, but they're a 1/2 inch outside diameter. So we have a core drill / reamer is the way that they're sold online. I've gotten comments before, they're like, no, it's not a core drill, that's not what it's called. Well, that's what they call it in this industry. It's a core drill reamer combo, and it's piloted. So it's piloted off of the old valve guide diameter or the ID of this one basically, and then it'll get us the correct size for our press